Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Daniel Sports Ledger, sports betting tips and picks for sports bettors. Can you hear this?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Just making sure, guys. Let us know if our audio's off. Um, big show today, actually. This might be a little bit longer one. Hopefully, Manny's got time.
Got a little bit of time.
But yeah. So let's we got a lot of things to talk about. Let's start out with Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers.
Okay.
I love this move. I see people on now. Let us know if you guys can hear us, just making sure. But Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I love this move. I wanted this move. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Justin Herbert. I'm so happy for the Chargers organization. This is just amazing. What do you think about this?
I hate this move. I
Well,
think
because he's in the division.
You're gonna ask me a question. I'm gonna give you my answer. I hate this move. It's in my division. I love the fact that those Chargers were just getting spanked. They had a horrible season. Herbert is a phenomenal quarterback. Now you're going to give him a great coach who's going to come in there and probably change things up. It was tough enough that I had to deal with Mahomes.
Yeah.
And I was loving the fact that we were looking solid. We were the number 2 team in the division. I mean, let's be realistic. The kid over there in the Broncos, don't even want to say his name. The little guy, the guy who just can't, he couldn't withstand it. He went on a 5-game winning streak. He caused me to throw a little extra change his way, and then he just lets me down. Wilson is a letdown, and Herbert is not. He was a letdown this year, but obviously it had to do with coaching. It had to do with the structure. It had to do with the organization. They went and made a big move. I'm frustrated. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, we got a comment already from Austin. Herbert is saved, and the audio is good. So thank you, Austin, for letting us know.
Appreciate that about the audio.
And yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. Herbert is saved. I know it's tough for you in the Raiders division, but I'm excited about this. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Again, like I said, the cool thing about these college coaches is they typically draft really well the first couple of years. So because they know the college landscape, they know these players so well, they may have been trying to recruit some of them or whatever.
That's a good point.
And
that's a really good point.
Yeah, so like when Pete Carroll switched over, or like Joe Harbaugh did the first. Yeah, they always seem to have all the success drafting. And I remember Pete Carroll's first draft, and he drafted what's his name? He's still in the league. He's kind of a smaller linebacker, Bruce Irvin.
Ooh.
And I remember thinking, this guy, what is he? Who is he drafting? I remember thinking his draft picks were going to be so bad.
Bust.
And he drafted all these unknown guys, and they all turned out to be amazing and helped him win Super Bowl and everything else.
Yeah.
And so, it's going to be awesome to see who Harbaugh drafts.
What direction they go in, what kind of schemes they're going to come up with. I mean, and the thing is, it's
going to be great.
Their main direction is going to be focusing on.
I'm excited for the Chargers.
Yeah, their main direction is going to be focusing on how to shut down this Mahomes team. I mean, obviously, the fear is going to be Raiders. They're going to fear us.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to wish they never played us. That's 2 straight losses in the season. But all jokes aside, yeah. I mean, I think Harbaugh's going to come in. He's coming into a great situation. He's got a great quarterback. I mean, and we both this year jumped on the Chargers quite a bit, and they just let us down. And it had a lot to do it.
I'm gonna be jumping on the Chargers next year. It looks like.
I bet you are, you son of a gun. And I will be betting against them.
I'm so excited.
But yeah, no, I definitely. On the real note, yeah, I mean, it changes the dynamic of the team. It kind of shows the team and the players, hey, listen, man, we want something better for our squad.
Finally, this organization got something right, I feel like. But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll definitely
and he's still going to have to fight. He's going to have to fight a crappy organization, and that is going to be a difficult thing. But
tough.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens here. If Harbaugh can't do it, no one can.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's
what else do we got on the table?
All right, so
any other crazy hires that taken place? I know your last episode.
Yeah. So we have Doc Rivers did end up, which everybody kind of knew he did go to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks, and a great again. If you guys if you guys didn't hear my last podcast on, I felt like I had some amazing comments, and really it comes down to them taking the opportunity to add talent and I just feel like it was a great organizational move for the Bucks, and good on them. You know, if you can increase your talent, whether it's your staff, your players, whatever, you know, you should definitely do that. And I think the Bucks did amazing doing that. We got another comment here from Joe Perez.
My bro.
Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos next season in that order.
Sounds about right.
Raiders, Raiders. Oh.
What are you laughing for? What are you laughing about?
Wow. That's
I mean, let's be realistic, dude. Like, Raiders are just a couple games, a couple mistakes away from being one of the.
Oh, by the way, we haven't talked about the Raiders sign
Antonio Pierce,
yeah, Antonio Pierce, and that I think is another incredible
phenomenal pickup. Yeah,
that, you know, what I learned about Antonio Pierce is he can strategize.
Oh, he's a gamer.
You know, and I was very impressed. You know, not a lot of interim coaches come in there, and you can see that he schemed up teams. He's an amazing leader. Joe Perez says, he beat the Chiefs. But really, for me, I could see the strategy in his game plans.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, the 49ers have you know, like these really great young coaches have this strategy, and he can strategize. And I was very impressed with Antonio Pierce. So I'm very happy for the Raiders. And also, just before you get to, hopefully don't forget, but I thought it was hilarious what the owner said when he was just like, well, you know, I've made a lot of bad coaching decisions. And when all the players come to me and say, this is the guy, you know, I guess I need to finally listen to them. And so I went with them. And, you know, I think it's a fantastic hire.
And one of the biggest things too is this year, as a Raiders fan, something that makes a difference to us, and I know Joe would agree with me 100%, is we finally beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We finally beat the Chiefs. Last year we had the Chiefs strangleholded. They came back and beat us both games, but this year we swept. Whoa. We split. We split. But I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. And you know, we go to appreciate what the cause behind that is, and it's coaching.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to this Bucs situation. A lot of people don't realize this. You know, the coach, he came in. Of course, he was on the bench beforehand. He was already on the bench, so the Bucs benching, and then he pushed into the head coach. And his main scheme, his main thing about him, right, was to be aggressive on defense. So there's so many things. If you don't follow basketball, I understand what you're talking about. Like I understood the concepts that you were making up about how coaches need to be decisive, so on and so forth. But there's little things. And it's funny that they hired Doc Rivers, because people don't realize that this coach, Mitchell, right? You know who his basic like mentor was?
No.
Who would call him consistently, giving him advice on how he should approach the situation? Doc Rivers. So it's only fitting that you bring the guy who's his mentor. But here's the thing is if I'm making bad choices, but I'm calling you every single day to help me out with my decision making, it's kind of baffles me a little bit. But you know, Milwaukee's doing what they had to do. They made the decisions, they made the moves. But here's the other thing about this situation is at the end of the day, when they hired Mitchell last year, it came down to 4 coaches. Right. And all 4 of those coaches were interviewed by 3 players for their final selection. Giannis, Holiday, and my boy, oh my God, don't tell me I'm gonna forget his name. It's my guy, the main shooter, he's got the little jumper there, Middleton, right?
That's he's my favorite one.
They decided who their coach was going to be, and they picked him.
Yeah.
5 days into the season, they lost one of their head assistant coaches because of a post-practice squabble that he had with Mitchell. Boom, he quit. And then a couple weeks later, they're struggling. I mean, they went from being the top defense to 27th in the league. Yeah, they're still you know, their defense around the perimeter around the rim is still
You're talking about the Bucs.
I'm talking about the Bucs.
Yeah, so they were 4th in defense last year.
Now they're 27th.
22nd.
But the 27th as of right now. So here's the thing. The one thing that's changed, though, is they switched one thing up. They switched the way they handle the pick and roll. They switched the way they handle the pick and roll. Before, the pick and roll would have Brooke Lopez drop back and the rest, everybody stay high. Now, when Mitchell came in, he wanted them to attack.
Mhm.
He wanted Lopez to attack high,
Well,
which left them super vulnerable.
they also lost Drew Holiday.
The biggest point factor of every situation. They gained offense when the coach who's in now is strictly a defensive coach. They gained offense with dimes, right? And now it throws everything off.
Mhm.
So this coach, technically, with Giannis sitting there barking, talking about, you know, we got to be better on defense, we got to be better on offense, we got to be, the towel boy has to be better, the janitor's got to be better, and then he ended with the coaching has to be better. Telling you, it makes a big thing. If Giannis is in that interview room saying, okay, I picked this guy, then you know damn well he's in that room talking about, I want this guy going.
Right. So do you like the Doc Rivers or do you not?
Well, hear this funny stat out. This is funny. This is ridiculous. I got to verify some dates, but this is a funny little thing to think about. And if you like betting on futures and you like betting NBA champions, check this out. So there's been 2 instances where something similar has happened, where a coach has been out with a winning record. The last time it happened was 2015, 2016 with LeBron, right?
Mhm.
David Blatt was kicked out after being 30-11.
Mhm.
They pushed him out, brought in Tyronn Lue. Guess what happened that year?
They won
Championships.
Yep.
And then if we even go further back to my favorite squad, you got the 1979-1980 Lakers,
Mhm.
right? Now it's sort of similar, but circumstances were a lot different. You had Jack McKinney. He got injured on a motorcycle. And if you guys ever watched that that Los Angeles Laker documentary that they have on HBO, I believe it is, they go into full detail about it. But anyway, so he's out. They bring in Paul Westhead. 1979-1980s Lakers championship. So in terms of trends, in terms of what has happened before in the NBA, this could be a great move.
Right.
You could be, and if you bet the Bucks today, if you were to bet the Bucks today to win the championship, their odds plus 480.
480. And you know, and I like the Bucks. I like the Bucks, you know. I've you know what though? Drew Holiday, that's the one that concerns me.
That's a big loss. It's a big defensive loss. But all they gotta do is get it together. But anyway, I don't want to dig too far into that, because obviously it's tough to sit here and talk about how one coach could hinder everything or benefit, you know, the team, when you literally have Giannis and Damian Lillard on the same team. And then guess who's their third guy? Middleton, who we love.
Middleton's my favorite.
Man, if you give me those guys right now in the Lakers, I'm like, yeah, we're winning the championship. So I care who, I could coach them, for crying out loud.
And
man, frustrating.
And some more comments from Joe Perez real quick. Watch out for the Bucks and Raiders. They got their coaches.
Oh yeah.
And he says that Rivers is a winner, Doc Rivers. Although he does have the most times being up 3-1 and losing the series 3 times. So
that same squad.
Before we move on to a different sport, we got to talk about Chauncey Billups last night. And
let's hear it.
They want to protest this. So I slowed it down. I watched it, and you look at it. Number one.
Well, first go into detail about what happened.
Yeah. So first of all, it's right towards the end of the game. Is it Portland, right? Portland crosses the court. They tie him up, and this is normally like where you call a timeout or whatever. Chauncey Billups is behind the ref. You can clearly see that the ref has. I mean, he doesn't have a side view or anything. I mean, he's totally not looking at him, and he calls a timeout behind him. Probably verbally said it as well. But here's my anyway. So they didn't give it to him. Chauncey blew up, accidentally hit the ref. That guy gives him a technical. Then he comes onto the court. The other guy gives him a technical because he's on the court now. Then, anyways, they lose the game. They want to protest it. But here's my problem with it. Number one, because the guy ends up coming. Well, what happens is the guy comes out of the tie up and double dribbles, and so they had that penalty as well. My problem with it was that when you slow it down, if you look at when Chauncey Billups is calling the timeout, he first of all, the player can call it too. So that's a coaching error. The first thing is that he should be teaching his players to call a timeout. but also, um, he's not calling timeout when the player is tied up. He actually waits till he sees the player trying to come out of it and bounce the ball, double dribble. So when he sees that the player is about to double dribble and he's already in the motion of double dribbling, that's when you see his hand go up for a timeout. So he's like, the penalty is already happening when he's
Right.
trying to call the timeout. And also it's like he's behind the guy, the timeout's late, everything with it. And it's just another one of those.
It's bang bang. It's bang bang.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just that it was bang bang. I mean, I think it's stupid. It's one of those things where look, man, just take accountability. Don't try to say, oh, blame it on all these other circumstances. Look, man, the guy double dribbled. You called the timeout late. You didn't teach the guy to call a timeout. You didn't, there's all kinds of things could have happened. And, to protest it, in my opinion, is just stupid. There's no way they're going to win it. When you slow it down, you can see he's calling the timeout late anyways. So it's,
well, at the end of the day, like
the whole thing's ridiculous.
That's those are good points. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, they still had a chance to take the game in overtime. Suggs just hit the game winner, knocked him out anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It was Suggs hit a game winning shot
Right.
to win the game. And I mean, yeah, you're right. They should have had that locked in. I like what Perez is saying, that you have to have that sole position to call a timeout. So the other team might have had the hand on the ball. There's a lot of things that come into play. I mean, Joe, I just want to shout out Joe Perez is actually
Joe the ref.
He's a ref. He's got a lot of this. He's going to throw a lot of his 2 cents in because he has a lot of knowledge about it.
I'm 100% on the ref side on this one.
But at the end of the day, like, I like what you're saying. It's like, enough blaming the referees. Just get it done. Play defense. It's kind of like, no offense to you, when you're blaming the kicker and people are blaming, a lot of stuff, and he missed the kick in the Bills game. At the end of the day, man, go down and score a freaking touchdown.
Yeah.
You want to sit here and blame everything that happened. It's like, hey, man, if you don't want the football if you don't want it to come down to the kicker, then handle the business in the beginning of the game or throughout the game. And it goes to show these little things. And of course, teams are so evenly matched. Like in the pros, it's just, we see a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just, you got to handle your business. But I don't agree with Chauncey either. I'm with you on this. It's enough crying. At the end of the day, too. Plus, why is Portland crying about wins? They're not gonna do anything. You should be trying to get the first round pick.
Yeah, exactly. You should be happy about it.
Oh, that's horrible.
So okay, let's talk about. We'll make this one quick. Okay. I want to talk about Baseball Hall of Fame real quick.
Ooh.
And
Mauer, huh?
And obviously, here's one thing I don't understand. Okay. Why these Hall of Fames have limits. Like, you only get 20 years to get inducted, and then you can never get inducted again or whatever. Also, with the Baseball Hall of Fame, a lot of the complaints are coming from the steroid era. These guys aren't getting in when they should. My question is, what do you think the Hall of Fame is all about? Is it about telling the story of the sport? In this case, baseball. In that case, you can't tell the story without telling the steroid story. You could even have a special section of the Hall of Fame where these are Hall of Famers from the steroid era or whatever. Are you trying to tell the story of the Hall of Fame? Are you trying to? Is it only people that didn't break rules? Is it only this? Like, what is it that you're trying to do with the Hall of Fame? And
you're at a loss for words.
During the steroid era, there were so many people, pretty much everybody that was using, not just who was on the list. It was way bigger than the list. A list is always only so many people. Right. There's always way more people involved. And I don't know. Personally, I think they should just let them in. I mean, if they were good enough.
Who are you speaking about specifically?
Okay, well, Andrew, I can't think of his last name, the catcher for the Braves, Barry Bonds, all of these guys.
Did McGuire get in?
McGuire, no, he didn't get in.
And then there's one big one that everyone talks about every year. It's A-Rod.
A-Rod, yeah. I mean, I think that
here's the thing that people don't realize this. Before Bonds had the allegations put on him, right?
right.
Steroid usage, he was already a 3-time MVP.
Yeah, and that's the other part. These guys were
Like, I mean, he was rated 3-time MVP of the league. Yeah, we went and him and Sammy just went and did some crazy stuff, and it was amazing.
So Joe Press's integrity has to be first, and if that's the case, then I'm fine with it. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, but
here's the thing too, is like, you know, my stance, and I think I've said this countless amounts of times, and this is not going to sit well with baseball fans. It's like, dude, let everyone use steroids anytime they want.
Right.
And I know it's a health situation, but God, how fun was it watching that home run battle? And you just tuned in, like, yeah, I can't wait. I know he's going to hit 2 or 3 home runs. Yeah. But then imagine if we're like, and I know, like, historically, it's like, oh, they're, you know, Hank Aaron, it's he only, you know, he was pure and all this. So what? Like, we're in 2024. Yeah. Times have changed. You know what I mean? It's like it's the way things go. It's like golf. It's like golf. Like, if you want to, you can't even compare a golfer now to the golfers in the 70s. Different styles, different clubs, different technology. Like, it's not even the same. Like, let's just move strictly from 2000s, 19s, like, and just be like, dude, everyone, if you want to use steroids and you want to risk it, go ahead. But I need to see some dingers. You get what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. I want to see some dingers. I want to see a 200-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, and you also saw during that era, because of steroids, you saw guys who couldn't hit pitches.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like,
who's to say Randy Johnson wasn't on steroids? Can you imagine that? The guy was throwing 120. No, I'm just joking. But 21, think about it. When's the last time we saw 21 strikeouts?
Yeah.
In a game?
Yeah.
When Randy and Kurt were on the same team with the Diamondbacks, they both threw 21 strikeouts in multiple games.
Yeah.
Who's to say? And they're both in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say they weren't on steroids?
Right.
You know, it's because they're not hitting dingers left and right, and their heads are not getting massively humongous, showing quick evidence. Right. But at the same time, it's like, hey, there's got to be something. How come no one's throwing 21 strikeouts these days? Yeah, I mean, maybe the hitting's a little different, or maybe it's a pitching game now, but I don't know, man. It just makes you think. Like, I'm just like, dude, let's just throw them all on some hey, you want to do steroids? Go ahead, man. It's up to you. But there's health. These are the health effects. And I know that's unrealistic, but still, it's the way I see it. Because I'm not even a baseball guy. I think the game is just too slow. And guess what? You lose tons of money betting baseball because you know what baseball does to the average bettor? It makes you slow down. Like, I'm not kidding. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll bet on the Braves to beat the Diamondbacks. Then there's the first inning. Then there's the second inning. Then I'm like, you know what? In play this game, taking the under. Like, I can't help it. You get so lost in it. I don't know.
We're gonna make some money in baseball this year.
Yeah, you're going to.
But
I always lose.
And then, you know, it's okay. Anything else on that subject?
No, man. I think we pretty much covered that up. There's gonna be tons of baseball stuff to talk about when baseball starts. We live in Arizona, so one of the beauties of living in Arizona is that we have tons of spring training games,
right?
And we're headed.
We're going to.
Man, we had such a great time that last one.
Yeah, that was great.
So it was raining.
Yeah,
that's
it was
insane.
Yeah, it started raining in the 7th or whatever. We had to go home.
So when baseball does come up, I'm telling you, man, my man right here, Big D, he's a beast with that baseball stuff. Me, I lose patience with baseball. I swear, I just cannot stand it. That's why I'm like, dude, steroids would be dope. People just hit dingers, 200-mile fastballs.
Bring the fences in.
Yeah, bring the fences in. Like, let's just turn this into all-around men's league softball. But anyway, but yeah, no, I think that concludes it. And we'll once baseball rolls around, we have April. Dude, April is right around the corner.
Right.
Before you know it, it'll be baseball time. And that's all we're talking about. We're gonna be talking about some division winners. Who's the team to beat? I feel like the Diamondbacks are tough, but we'll see how things go. And but who's going to beat the Dodgers? Who's going to beat the Dodgers? I'll tell you, man. So we have some fun stuff to talk about. But while we're on this note of kind of transitioning to another sport, I got to talk golf.
Well, hold on. Let's talk golf in just 1 minute.
Okay. Well, what do you got?
Because it's time I address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
My Buffalo Bills.
Oh my God. I didn't want to. I thought maybe you would do this at the end so you wouldn't feel like sour throughout the whole program, but just go for it. Just talk about it. What happened to your squad? Who's the blame? Who's the biggest one? Just I want, you know what's funny about this is I watch program after program talking about how, oh, you shouldn't blame Josh Allen. You shouldn't blame Josh Allen. But I'm like, dude, I'm the biggest, like, dude.
I don't think Josh Allen's to blame.
Yeah, he is.
I
I feel like Josh Allen he's escaped. He just gets out of it every time.
I think at this point, I think it's time to let go of Sean McDermott.
Oh, wow.
I think it's the coaching. First of all, that fake punt thing was just stupid. And then there was just some bad decisions in that game. If I'm the Bills, I'm going all in for Bill Belichick. That's what I'm doing.
You ship jumping son of a gun. Your whole life you hated the guy.
I did, but at some point here's the thing. I think he's the right. He fits the Bills correctly, and
that's
what I would do. But it doesn't sound like they're going to get rid of Sean McDermott. I think part of the problem with getting rid of Sean McDermott is he came in with the general manager. They both came from Carolina. They're friends, and you almost have to get rid of both. And Brandon Beane is one of the best general managers in the game.
Yeah.
And Sean McDermott is one of the best coaches.
Right.
So it's kind of hard, but you kind of feel stuck when you have a coach that's great but not elite. And I kind of feel that that's where he's at. He's great, but he's not elite. And
that's what it's going to take.
It's a tough one, but
Perez has a great point.
I still think they can win despite the coaching. Yeah, and our defense was.
That's a stellar point. Obviously, I mean,
our defense was banged up. We had a lot of injuries. There was a lot of things in that game. On to next year, I guess. I don't blame the kicker at all.
No.
I did see something though, and I'll probably talk about it more in a different podcast, so we don't go too long. But
yeah, I mean,
I think we should take. I think we should take kicking out of football.
Ooh.
I mean,
like kicking, like completely, like
completely. Extra points can just be
no kickoffs. No
you can just do a try from the 3.
Well, I mean, they talked about that, right? With no punts, no kickoffs, and all that stuff.
I mean,
because I think the XFL.
I don't think we need kickers anymore.
Kick them out of here.
Yeah.
Go to soccer.
Well, we can have punting, I guess.
No, on that punting, it's just like, oh no, that wasn't punting. That was the kickoff. Yeah, you might need punting, but I don't know.
I don't know. I guess maybe keep it in the game.
I think you're just still frustrated on the whole kicking aspect because only a team that would lose.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that so much as it just. We'll talk about it more later.
Right.
But
let's discuss that later.
There's some good points to taking kicking out of the game.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, it's like and I'm going to put my 2 cents in this, dude. I think Josh Allen is the superstar. He really is. And if you want to say Buffalo's defense was hurting, cool. That's great because it's obvious. But you know what? Just hear me out. But you know what? You know what Mahomes didn't have? Mahomes didn't have a stellar offense.
Yeah.
He didn't have and guess what? He was on the road. He had everything. And I hate Mahomes, and me praising him right now, I feel like there's an organ that's sort of shrinking in my body and it hurts a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that Mahomes showed why he is not Josh Allen and why Josh Allen is not Mahomes. There are two different quarterbacks or two different superstars. Josh Allen is an all-star. Mahomes is a superstar. He went in there and handled business. Things worked out his way. He doesn't have a stellar defense. It's not like one of the best defenses in the game.
Yeah.
But when it was time to get things done, Mahomes figures out how to get things done. Josh Allen has not done that. I mean, we were literally you guys literally snuck into the playoffs. We were rooting for him because we're thinking this is the year that he steps up and takes that next level.
His arm wasn't right this year either.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, then next year it'll be his ankle or his knee, and it's always like that with the individuals who are not on that superstar status. It's always something. There's very few superstars in sports, but the ones who are like stellar, and they're just like, and they'll have something that's lacking or something, and they just get it done. I'm telling you, it's just a huge difference.
Yeah,
and you'll notice it. I hate Mahomes. I don't hate Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Because why would you? Like, he lets you down. He picks you up. He's fun. He's not that superstar. But Mahomes, I hate Mahomes. I do. I can't stand him because not only that, but there's something special.
I think Allen is a superstar. No, I think the Chiefs' biggest advantage was their coaching.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because
but here's the thing. The Bills' window, as long as they have Josh Allen, it's not closed. So
Well, I'll tell you what.
the window's open for the next 8 years or whatever.
I'll tell you
for
what.
sure.
I'll tell you this, man. Maybe it's just a curse. Really, I mean, you guys went. How many Super Bowls did you guys hit in the 90s?
4.
4 in a row. How many wins do you guys had?
0.
0. And I hate to be that guy, but I'm telling you, man, it could just be an all-around curse. Like, you guys have a phenomenal squad, and
The Bills are gonna get it done.
And Diggs has 25 receiving yards.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in that
whole
game? Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know, but who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to rub this in, America.
No, it's
yeah, it's
good.
It's a tough situation,
but they'll be back. The Bills will be back.
Yeah,
they'll be good.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this we'll get more into the NFL playoffs in our next episode tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today we're just kind of throwing out some ideas, and we want to hear a couple comments and stuff. And
yeah, Diggs dropped that bomb. Yeah. I mean that would have won the game. There's so many things in that game, but
yeah, I'll tell you.
It's a team sport.
It is, but at the same time, I am a big believer in there needs to be a superstar. Like, you're gonna blame somebody, needs to be blamed. Somebody needs to be held accountable, and if it's the coach, which it usually is in football, and just be honest with you, in most sports, it's the coach,
right?
So, but I mean, there's just superstars who that's why I hate Mahomes.
Yeah,
because somehow somebody would have, if Mahomes threw that ball, he would have threw it to a receiver who just came out because somebody needed a breather, and the guy would have caught it. Guy would have caught it backwards, and it's somehow miraculously up against his helmet. It's Mahomes. That's what happens to these superstars. These guys who are just like it frustrates. That's why I hope Ravens with the blowout.
Well, anyway, let's talk your golf, and then we will.
This actually kind of coincides with the NFL, which is kind of
we will
crazy.
Hint at who we like this weekend in the NFL, and then we'll solidify it tomorrow.
Right. So anyway, this kind of goes into a little bit of the NFL. The Farmers Insurance Open is kicked off today, and it's located there in San Diego, La Jolla. I shouldn't say San Diego.
I was just there.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that for those San Diegans. This is La Jolla. Anyway, Torrey Pines. It's kicking off. It's great. The first round starts on Wednesday. This is how powerful the NFL is. The first round of the PGA tournament, which is the second one located. The first one was last week there in Palm Springs, but the first one located the second one located here on the state side. They start Wednesday and it ends Saturday. Why is that? When normally it's Thursday through Sunday. You know why that is? Because NFL says, hey, listen, we don't want nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
Broadcasting.
Greedy as hell.
We don't want nothing else broadcasting on Sunday. So, okay, well, we'll start Wednesday just so you can have your little AFC, NFC championship, which is great too, because it makes it a lot easier for those of us who love to bet on golf, which is kind of tough. And I'm telling you, when we go into more of it in golf, we get rid of football, and it's like we're talking golf a little more. It's more of the over-unders on rounds per, or over under on the score per round, not necessarily who's going to win the tournament, because that's just ridiculous.
Right.
So anyway, that's my golf insight, and we'll get more into that a little later. But I just thought it was hilarious how it's like the NFL does that, and that's every year at this time.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah. The NFL's the big daddy. Nobody wants to go up against the NFL. It's not just the NFL. Golf doesn't. They want their ratings too.
Of course,
their sponsors want their ratings. There's everybody wants the ratings,
and they know no one's watching golf on Sunday if there's AFC and NFC championship games going on.
Nobody. So
sanity.
Well,
let's talk a little bit let's touch a little bit about last week, just a little bit. I mean,
we haven't really talked about it.
Yeah, it was kind of brutal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I had Buffalo. Buffalo was the team that I had.
Yeah.
I also took Tampa Bay. Man, but I'm telling you, Detroit, man, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn on Detroit. I want to hear, Perez, what do you think? Detroit, San Fran. Where do you stand on that?
What do you got, Perez?
Come on now.
All of a sudden he clammed up.
All of a sudden.
Sometimes it takes a second for the comments to come through. Right. But
what do you think? Where are you leaning?
I'm leaning Lions right now.
Are you really? Now you're taking points, or I know you're more along the lines of like You like the money. If you're going to take the lines, you're probably taking money line.
No, yeah, money line lines. Well, that's where I'm leaning right now. We'll see.
Okay.
See what I give out tomorrow, but I'm leaning lines for sure. Money line.
All right.
And the other game, the Chiefs and the Ravens, I'm leaning Ravens.
You know what's so stupid about that game though? It's like everybody is going to root for the Ravens, and I hate it, and I almost just feel it in my gut. I do. I swear.
Ravens are at home.
Right, and I hate it. I hate the way I feel right now.
Yeah,
because
you feel like
yes,
Mahomes.
you know what I'm feeling. Dude. I just hate it. I'm not gonna kid you. If you have what it takes to take Chiefs on the money line, man, I'm telling you, man, it's not a horrible bet.
Perez likes the Niners. He likes the coaching.
Yeah, coaching was legit. But I mean, if you honestly sit there and you're like, you know what I like about the Niners is the coaching. I'm like, what the hell? McCaffrey and Debo. I don't know if Debo's playing.
Debo might not play, and one other major guy, is it Greenlaw? Dre Greenlaw might not play, I believe.
Okay.
Or one of them.
Well, you're on offense. At least you got McCaffrey.
Yeah.
You got Ayuk. You got Kittle.
Also, I heard the Lions signed Zach Ertz, by the way.
For what? For what? For what?
He can have an impact.
Oh, really? I want to hear this one. Oh, but hold on. Let me think. Let me just think. No. No. Zach Ertz. Yeah.
You never know.
Who did the Niners sign for backup? Kurt Warner? I mean, what are we doing here? What do you think Zach Ertz is going to get out? What has he just been training this whole time?
Well, yeah, he was just on the Cardinals this year.
He's been broadcasting.
No. You're thinking of that old Panthers guy.
No.
Zach Ertz was on the Cardinals this year.
Zach Ertz on the Cardinals this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just signed him from the Cardinals.
So they had a sign and trade?
They must have cut him at the end of the season or something, and they picked him up. But anyways, it's just some news I heard today. That they signed Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes one important catch to change a game.
No.
I did want to say this about the Bills, though.
Yeah.
I think this is a phenomenal stat.
Right.
And I do want to talk about. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
But the Bills didn't lose a game by 7 points or more this year.
Ooh, that's a good point.
They only lost by 6 points or less the entire season.
Yeah.
They didn't lose by 7 points. Literally 6 points or less every game they lost. But I want to talk about that tomorrow. But that's a phenomenal stat. So that's another thing that you look and you say, they had a great. I mean, how many teams can say that at the end of a year?
No, that is phenomenal. I admit, dude, the Bills team is good, and I think that's why it's more frustrating.
Yeah,
because we jumped on them, and not only is it frustrating for the Bills, but it's frustrating who again beat the Bills.
Yeah,
but how frustrating is it for you? I mean, at some point in time, you need to step it up and be like, I hate the Chiefs. These guys continue to whoop you.
I can't.
I mean, you need to hate them as much as I hate them at this point in time, because at least with us, it's like regular season type stuff. But they continuously keep your team from winning a championship. That has got to be frustrating.
It is.
I mean, I would hate Mahomes with a passion if I was you. I mean, I already do, but I'm just saying. God, he's so freaking amazingly lucky.
Yeah.
Man. Anyway, but let's touch off with I got a little NBA news.
Okay.
Lakers took a tough loss last night to the old Clippers.
LeBron didn't play in that game.
No,
right?
no LeBron. But you know what?
Why do you think he didn't play?
Oh, man, he's hurt. That's the only reason why. No, these players are taking rest left and right. I mean, at the end of the day.
But why this particular game?
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Here's my thing. If I'm going to take rest, why not take rest against the Wizards or like some crappy team,
Right. And
why are you taking rest against a good team?
First of all, he's home, right? Well, I mean, yeah, they're good, but here's the thing: is they're home, right? And he's in LA. Clippers are, man, I'm telling you, we beat them last game. We came back and beat them down like 10 or so, come back for the win. Clippers this time are at home. It's in the LA version of the LA Clippers ground.
Right.
So it's a different crowd. It's not LeBron's crowd. It's the Clippers crowd.
Right.
It's a different group.
Clippers are building a stadium, which is cool.
So, I mean, yeah, you take a little break, whatever. It's not going to affect anything really much. I mean, the Lakers are going to sneak in as a 10 seed again and go through the whole system again. Probably make the the NBA Western Conference Championship again. Maybe sneak in. I don't know. We'll find out. There's a lot to be told when it comes to this trading period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Once this trading block situation is all taken care of, we're going to have a real idea of where people are going to go. That's why betting the NBA right now is a little iffy. When you're betting even like player props, because I mean a lot of people are playing for their spot or they're playing for like advertisement.
Right.
So but yeah, anyway, I just wanted to touch bases on that. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard, triple double, his second in his career. You would think he'd had more.
Yeah.
But that was his second career triple double. You know,
by the way, I heard a rumor about you.
Oh, I love it.
That you made a bet on Cam Lewis or Cameron Johnson to score the first points of the game.
Well, here's the thing.
What was up with that?
No, here's the thing. And so I step into work last night and the Suns are it's the Knicks against the Nets.
Right.
And I tell my coworker, I'm like, you know what, man? Look at this. Cam Johnson right now is probably about, what do you think he was? About 6,000 to 1? 6,000 to 1 to be the first player to make a point in the game.
Right.
I was like, you know what? And I didn't make it. I know, he's wrong. I told him we should make it.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't do it. And the ball, Knicks got the possession first. Knicks go down, shoot a brick, and then it comes down. You got Mikal Bridges on the Nets, and he shoots it. They miss it. Get the offensive rebound, passes it out, comes out. Cam Johnson on top of the three, knocks it down.
My boy from UNC.
Oh my God! I mean, me and Dave are like, oh my goodness. But Dave hit a big. This is the funny thing.
Yeah, he hit a triple double.
This is the reason why I brought it up. Dave hit that triple double with Joker.
Right.
But the triple double on a $50 bet, if you bet $50 that Kawhi Leonard would have had a triple double last night,
yeah,
$4,500.
Jeez,
true story. It's only his second.
That would have been a good one because you knew LeBron wasn't playing. You knew he wanted to show up against
and
the
you
Lakers.
knew you knew he was going to bring it because they lost that last game. I'm telling you, it was a phenomenal bet. Some people out there obviously took it. It's a massive world of betting. So yeah, I mean, but NBA's. I'm excited about it. I'm just not excited yet. These are like the preliminary aspects of the NBA because it's a longer season. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're more focused here on the NFL, and eventually we're going to get to it. And hey, by the way.
Let's figure out what we got to do to get Joe on here.
Let's figure out this mug real quick.
I showed it last night.
Did you? I didn't get to see it. Let's take a peek at that.
Yeah, well, Michigan national champs.
Look at that. And you're rocking the old Michigan sweater? That's a joke.
Well, this is that's a NAU Lumberjacks, actually. Yeah. Shout out to NAU.
We got to make it out there.
Yeah, we will.
Make it out there and watch a little game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, back in my prime, I had a chance.
Yeah.
I had a chance. Maybe a super slim chance, but it was a chance. And they didn't even know that I was a possible prospect, but still there was a chance.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I love it. Well, this was a great little app, man.
Yeah.
We'll be back at it tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow.
Same channel.
Okay. And thank you guys.
Back, man.
We got a lot of people watching, commenting, a lot of reactions. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Also, we're picking up a lot of people on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those. So thank you guys who are listening to us. Check us out live sometime on YouTube.
Joe, it was a pleasure having you, man. We definitely got to get this guy on, man.
Yeah, just tell me
and Joe.
We just need his number or something.
We can sit down and just BS
yeah
for hours, and trust me, you can too. I mean, he's just he's got a lot of insight.
Yeah, we got to get Joe on. He's gonna be fun. He's gonna be a lot of fun. So anything else you got?
That's it, man. I'm good for the day. I'll be ready. We'll have a little more insight on.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big show tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot more.
Some picks and whatnot. Play some prayer plops. Whoa, prayer plops. Player props.
Hopefully they're not plops. Hopefully they're
no. I went prayer plops. So I flipped the L and the R on that, so it's supposed to be player props.
What are you
saying? How your brain works? Wait, what? Just kidding. Woo, no offense.
Just kidding.
No, we always say if you say no offense, it's okay.
Yeah. Sure. No, it's not.
That's not true. Nobody knows if it's okay or not. At the end of the day,
I don't know.
Yeah, what do we know?
It's on each individual person to decide if they're offended or not.
Yeah. Some people just don't get offended.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, guys, let's make some money.
Let's have fun doing it, man. I'll see you guys next week or tomorrow.